ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಸರ್
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ದು ಇದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ PPT ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ನೌ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಬಂದ್ ಸರ್.
ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಈಗ
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಂಟಿ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಸರ್.
ಯಾ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ಈಗ
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
Shall we start? Shall I start?
Yes sir, you can start.
Okay.
Yes sir.
So good morning to all. To all the participants.
Good morning, sir.
And
Good morning, sir.
Today is the 7th or 8th day, the session of the 8th day. And at the outside, I would like to thank to the organizers, HRDC, Mysore University, for giving an opportunity to share some of my ideas on the topic. The ICT and assessment, online and on-demand examination. And almost all of you know that one. ICT and assessment, online and on-demand examination. So as you all know that one, today's demand of the classroom activities make both the teacher and the students to learn many skills of teaching and learning. And teaching learning process integrated with the pedagogy or with the technology requires that the students acquire a higher order of thinking skills, and as such drawing inferences, analysis, predicting, comparing, evaluating, so on and so forth. The use of these multiple teaching strategies are the demand of this today's classroom situation. Multiple forms of an assessment is also required for the student to assess, because as we know that one teaching is not only the criteria of the teacher, and it should be followed by an assessment. So therefore both the teaching and the assessment they are going together in hand in hand. So therefore without an assessment we cannot judge or we cannot predict that what the effectiveness of the teacher teaching. Assessment is the major play an important vital role in the process of teaching and learning. In the present classroom situation, the information and communication technology is used in the classroom not only for the transacting the learning, but also for to give a sort of lively experiences to the students for carrying out the student assessment. For carrying out the student assessment, when we compare to that good old method of putting it as an assessment, it is restricted one, and it is a traditional type, a traditional way. And nowadays, so because of that overpopulation or enrolling of the students in the process of learning will be more. To cope with this type of a situation, the assessment demands that to carry out the work of an assessment as early as possible to give a feedback or a result to the students. For this particular sake, the traditional method of assessment is not possible to cope with this type of a situation. To make the process of what you call an evaluation or an assessment a faster, quick, and then without any sort of a negative ideas related to the process of an assessment, to overcome all such things, no, the best way is nothing but use of an ICT in the process of an assessment. When we involve this type of the process called the ICT, to some extent compared to the earlier, no, we can think of what you call it as an assessing the students objectively, free from subjectivity, and assessing the students in a right manner, and then to overcome other negative aspects like the malpractices. One of the major intention of use of an ICT in the process of an assessment is to cut or to reduce the larger extent the concept of malpractices. Because the traditional method, no, as you are aware of that one, as you all know that one, many what we call it as an things which is not accepted in the field of an education or the society related to the learning of the students or judging of the students, no, never accepted. Such things, no, still prevailing in the system of an assessment in the traditional method. So therefore, to avoid such things or to overcome such a concept of what we call it as an the limitation of the traditional, no, so we can go for the assessment in the form of an use of or adoption of the ICT in the system of an education. So before going in detail regarding the online and then on demand and then ICT concept in the process of an assessment, let us study or know about the what is an assessment means. Many of you are aware of that one, the judging, the learning of the student, judging the learning of the students after a period of training, after a period of teaching, whatever we carry out after that teaching, generally we call it as an assessment. According to this, one of the definition given in the 1990, no, the concept of assessment in the 1990, AFT. So AFT means nothing but American Federation of Teachers, and then National Council on Measurement and Education, and then the National Educational Association. So these three associations are together in the 1990, they have defined what is an assessment means nothing but a process of obtaining an information that is used to make educational decision about the students, to get feedback to the students about his or progress, strength and weaknesses, to judge the instructional effectiveness and curricular adequacy, to inform, that is a informal policy. So this is what generally we call it as an assessment, that is informed policy. So assessment is not restricted only to the judging the students learning. It goes beyond that concept of judging the learning of the students. Maybe the one of the criteria, one of the intention. At a larger extent, most of we people have that concept that to know that what you call a learning or the amount of learning of the student is the things which assessment do. But more than this one, it goes beyond that what you call it the student assessment, students learning or an amount of knowledge acquired by any students in terms of based on that concept of learning. No, it is the duty of the teacher or that what you call it as a mentor to think of giving a feedback to the students. Because most of the time, we declare the students' grade in terms of marks. Once it is over, so we never think of why they have scored that much of marks, this much of marks, what is the reason. or is there any scope for to improve their learning? Never think of that one. So therefore, assessment gives an idea of giving a feedback to the students in their progress and to know the strength and weaknesses, where they are strong. In which field of learning content is strong, in which field of learning content is very, very weak, because to think of the possible way of solving that what you call it as an, or to help the students to overcome from the weaknesses. For that one, no, the assessment is more important rather than giving a grades, And this also indirectly shows that effectiveness of the teacher teaching. How effective is the teacher teaching? How effectively he has interacted? How effectively he has communicated? How effectively he has involved and made that what you call it as an the minds of the students to learn it. So therefore, to decide all these important major concepts, no, we require the concept of an assessment. This is what we generally call it as an assessment. And a major role of the ICT in assessment, because I don't like to touch upon the traditional method of an assessment, because my topic is today is on the ICT, and then the major important is the online and on-demand assessment. So because of that reason, no, I directly jump into that major concept called ICT in assessment, because most of you know that one, the traditional still existing, still we are adapting the good old method of traditional system of an assessment, because we never completely, that is the removed that concept of an assessment, but along with that one, we have some sort of an use of an ICT, we are doing that one. So coming to the role of an ICT in assessment, the two major important forms of an ICT based assessment are there. One is CAA, Computer Assisted Assessment, or Computer Aided Assessment. So use of the computer, refer to that use of the computer to manage all the process of an assessment. That means judging the learning of the students using the concept or the process or by managing using that support of the computer. The process to evaluate the assignments or the learning, and mostly CAA use it to score the multiple choice. Generally, we use for this to score the multiple choice question and question with short answer responses using an optical mark reader, OMR. And especially in a competitive examination, so this type of an CAA they are using by giving an optical response sheet, OMR, and based on that one, no, computer assessment will be carried out. That means completely it is managed by the system of computer with the support of computer, and then whatever the valued things, no, that are the responses of the students given in the OMR, no, we are feed it and then get the result done. Okay, remaining things. And whereas the second one is called it as an computer-based assessment. Computer-based assessment. What is that? One is a CAA, another one is a computer-based assessment, CBA. It is made generally through a computer. Computer-based assessment means the use of digital tools for conducting an assessment. Use of a digital tools. What are the digital tools? So in the coming part of the presentation, you can know that one, what are the different types of tools are the digital tools we can use in this process of this one. That is the computer-based assessment. So tools for conducting an assessment related to the activity. Computer-based assessment can be done using the laptops, tablets, or even the smartphone we can use to assess the learning of the student. And that means through the use of the computer, through a computer, that is the learning of the students can be assessed. And this generally we call it as the forms of the ICT, use of ICT in computer, that is a computer things. And especially coming to the common ways of CBA, that means a computer-based assessment. So assessment embedded within a e-learning modules, and the second one is stand-alone online assessment. So these are the two major important things. No, assessment embedded within e-learning modules, and the second one is called it as a stand-alone online assessment. What is an embedded within e-learning modules means a most similar to the original computer-based training. So giving a training you have, or that is a computer-based training. Here the assessment are embedded within a large e-learning module, so that no, computer-based training, here online assessment are embedded within a large e-learning module, so that students' learning activities could take place on the computer. For example, no, a student may complete a full e-learning modules within a final test, with a final test at the end. Completing like that. No, we call it as an assessment embedded within e-learning modules. The second one is called a stand-alone online assessment. The instructor uses the online assessment creator to develop the quizzes and tests, which students take using an online platform. Like for example, online platform like Google platform, or through other way. And then online or web-based assessment can also be used to engage students in the teaching learning and measure their progress in learning on continuous basis. And this is the one of the type of what you call it as standalone online assessment. One thing which is very much required for this one now, so that is a preparation of that what you call it quizzes on the topic by the teacher. And a teacher, after completion of his teaching, no, may conduct the short quiz that students take on their smartphone. Nowadays, no, in most of the schools, no, they are adopting this type of a system called it as and conducting a quiz on the content for the purpose of making or preparing the students for the final examination. So that means continuous process of evaluation is possible through this type of stand-alone assessment, online assessment. And then another one is web-based assessment. Digital technologies are used in planning and delivery of an assessment, automatic marking and in reporting, storing, and then transferring the data. That is the major advantages compared to that earlier one stand alone. But even to some extent, no, that can be converted web-based assessment. No, immediately the learning or the assessment or learning of the students can be recorded, and even the marking can be automatically we can done. And such a way we can plan and then deliver the things to the stakeholders. And then storing and transferring the data is possible. The existing evaluation system in the educational institution consists of two components. One is a continuous and the term end examination. Online or web tests can be used in the both the forums for the sake of continuous as well as for the sake of the terminal examination. But the terminal, you know that one I told in the earlier slides, I highlighted that one. By using the concept of stand-alone online assignment, no, we can do that what is the continuous evaluation, whereas for a web page, so most of the time, no, for the terminal purpose, to know that what it as and the learning amount of the students, we can use this type of a technology at the end of the course. So several online objective and subjective tests are available for as formative and summative assessment. And the tools for assessing the objective items, very important one. the softwares that can be used to assess the objective test items in the form of quizzes, means the quiz probe, that is the quiz items, which conducted at the end of the module. If you use for that one, generally we call it as summative and refer to as an e-examination. E-examination means an electronic examination, no? E-electronic or the e-system of an examination. For a summative purpose, we can use this one. And then quiz, which is designed to help the student to check the understanding and identity areas to focus are referred as formative. So both the ways, no, depending upon the situation, whether we want to plan for testing that the end, the summative, then it should be in the form of what you call it as the e-examination, or otherwise you can also plan that are designed in the form of helping the students to know that area of their understanding and identify the areas to focus by using a formative things. This important, that is the advantages or the benefit of these quizzes is inter-scorer reliability. Inter-scorer reliability is the major advantage of this one, use of this quiz. And the second one is speed of marking for quizzes. Speed of marking for quizzes means the results are available immediately. We can avoid that what you call it as a wastage of time. So within a short time, no, we can finish up complete process of the evaluation or an assessment by using this one. That's why we call it, even the marking is a fast, even the scoring will be also be so much fast that one. As soon as that students mark, no, the rate will be recorded, the rightness or the correctness of the answer. Flexible provision of feedback and the individual question level and the report and reusable questions. That means the same thing we can use at a different times and a different level or in a different situation, scope for to reuse that the quizzes. Software that use it to develop quizzes, it is available in that available is one is Learning Point, and then Socrative and Quest Base, Moodle, and then Quizpedia, Hot Potatoes, Quiz Stars. I don't like to go in detail regarding this one. If you use this software, so we can use for this one for conducting the type of quizzes through online aspects. The next one is online web-based assessment in subjective test. Because most of you people have that concept of this online assessment is purely meant for to assess through for the objective type of a test. It is a wrong concept that even for the subjective type of a test can also be used. Some of the software that are the things which is available for the subjective test is question mark perception. Question mark perception, QMP, and electronic essay rater. E-rater is also you can use for the subjective test. And say, and under that one is the synthetic structure and discourse structure analysis. And then third one is a calibrant marker. And fourth one is another one is called automated text marker and intelligence essay assessor. So IEA. So these are the some of that what you call as a type of one a subjective test we can use. And e-write, e-marking assistant, automated analytic rubrics, and then marking mate, marking, and then e-portfolio web PA. So these are the some of the type of what you call it as an the subjective test we can use for assessing the students as learning based on the subjective concept or subjective nature. Another one is the importance of an web PA. What is, why we require, what is, how it is helps to that system of an assessment. One is time of the teacher. It saves the time of the teacher. And it gives a picture of contribution of each group. Records are stored in a central place and provide timely feedback to the learner. That is the most important one. And then provide an opportunity to reflect upon the group of work. And then gives the students an opportunity to express their views within the comfortable environment. And affects the behavior of the students as they come to know that assessor by teacher. So these are the major benefits we can gain through this use of the web PA. And another one, and most of we uses in the system of an education is the blocks. Blocks for assessment. What is the blocks means? Record what they have learned. Recording of what they have learned with reflective things about their learning and effectiveness in the and forms of narrative of the self-assessment. Narrative of self-assessment. For that reason, we use this type of concept assessment called the blocks for assessment. So advantages are analytical thinking can be developed at the same time critical thinking can be developed among the learner. And creative, intuitive, associational thinking can also be developed by using this type of an assessment. And also promote analogical thinking. Potential for increased access and exposure to for information and can combine a solicitatory and social interaction. For this purpose, no, this is the best things which we use in the process of an assessment for blacks. So the next very important of the day's idea is the online and on-demand examination. One minute. What is an online and then on-demand examination? Why this type of a concept of use of an online as well as an on-demand examination is an important in the system of an education? Because majority of the pupils that is in the conventional schools express that school system is a very, very rigid one because a strict program that is a stick on, you have to stick on to that schedule and you have to go to the school in time and then till that what you call it as a last hour of the school, no, have to stay and everything, it will be like a mechanical process, a mechanical system, and never scope for the students to become a free. And this is like a rigid process, a rigid one for the learner. Rigidity is the maximum concept which is played in the present conventional system of schooling, a conventional system of schooling. To overcome this concept of rigidity, the other way of making the school system, the conventional system, enjoyable, joyous, or to make it more, what we call it as an activity-oriented one, the other alternative or a substitute along with that system of traditional learning system, we can use nothing but in the process of an assessment is nothing but online and on-demand examination. Online and on-demand examination. And especially in the higher education, in the beginning itself, I highlighted that one. Because of what you call it as the rush of students or enrolling of the students to the higher education compared to that earlier days is more. And more of the peoples are joining and getting that what you call it as higher education, and therefore to cope with this rush of the students and then to make them to learn at the same time to assess their learning, so that conventional or a traditional method never comes to the rescue of the teacher or the system. So therefore, the better option for covering that step of what you call it as the learning assessment of the students in a quick, easier, faster rate is nothing but use of an online and on-demand examination at the same time to overcome the concept of rigidity. Let us know what is an online examination. So before going in detail regarding online, first let us know about the concept of an on-demand examination. NCF 2005 has clearly recommended the providing a flexibility to the student to select date and time as per their convenience. But still, in some of the system of what you call it as an education, or in some of the institution, or in some of the type of what you call an organization, they are adapting, but still not at a larger extent. Not at a larger extent. We never, that means it means that all the system of an education never following this one. But one of the major that is a new things in the field of an education is nothing but giving a flexibility to the students. Thinking of a flexibility concept in the process of the assessment. Because the examination is like, the present examination is like what you call it, a conventional one. Throughout the country, throughout the state, or throughout the system, throughout the university, at a time, no, all the students, as per the schedule, they have to take the examination. Their learning will be assessed on that particular as per the schedule. But it is against to the concept of the things called it as the conventional, because conventional is a rigid to the time, rigid to the date. Never give a freedom for that what you call it as the learner or the students. So therefore, for this thing, no, giving a flexibility the student to select date and time as per their convenience, the NCF 2005 has recommended the concept of on-demand examination. On-demand examination. What is an on-demand examination? Examination based on the concept of demand of the students or the ongoing learner of the student. That is the system. Ongoing learner based, learner choice, learner based, or the student based in terms of date and then time. According to their convenience, they can act, they can select, they can attend, and they can take the examination. At that time, that one generally we call it as the on-demand examination. And this type of an examination, no, in the conventional type of a system, we can never think of. For this alternative is required. So therefore, because of an advent of an ICT in education, concept of an online and on-demand examination came into exist, and practically we can carry out this in a systematic and effective manner. But earlier to the 2005, the NIOS, most of you know that one, what is an NIOS? National Institute of Open Schools. There the papers, was recommended this concept of flexibility and then operationalism of this one in the system of an examination. How we can adapt this flexibility. And they tried, and at present, that is the institution, NIOS, they are adapting and they are using this to some extent, the concept of the online examination. Online and on-demand examination, is two innovations. One, and online examination is a computer-based examination that requires internet connection and browser. Whereas on-demand examination allows the learners to take the examination when he or she is ready, and on-demand examination are generally carried out through the online mode. One online examination, computer-based examination, requires the set of things like, which is to use that computer, web or Wi-Fi and internet connection is very important. Without that one, no, we cannot do this one, this type of one. Whereas in addition to that one, no, this on-demand examination also required an internet, but one advantage is that one, no, whenever that is the for the learner or that what you call it as a students or the examinee can app or can select the date and time whenever he wants. So you have to arrange. So they're based on the readiness. That is what the Thorndike's principle. So law of readiness. Based on that concept, no, when he or she, that is the learner, is ready to take the examination, you have to provide, and providing of the examination according to their readiness is nothing but on-demand examination. And innovative features of this on-demand examination system is, one is National Institute of Open Schooling working on the concept of on-demand examination. So that is on-demand ODE, general short form, at secondary school level since 2003 in the area of the feasibility or the operationalization. How far it is feasible to use it. They have done many, what you call a trial and error, that is a trial or an experimental work on this one, and even they have succeeded in the concept of use of this on-demand examination. And it is a blended scheme of ICT and traditional examination system. Both the traditional, in the traditional system, we can blend this ICT and for conducting this on-demand examination. That means examination where students can walk in any time at the selected examination center and take examination. That means selection and then to the date and time for the taking an examination at the selected examination at the center is given completely freedom or choice option to the examinee. On-demand examination system, ODS, is an ICT-enabled flexible examination system free from the traditional rigid time. Because already I told you that. Because a traditional system throughout the country, throughout the state, at a time, and on the same one on particular day we are conducting. But here it is not like that one. No? Giving a freedom and getting that what you call it as an information about the readiness of the students, arranging the examination. So that means to overcome the traditional concept. So we are not forcing the students. We are not forcing the examinee to take the examination, but we gave a choice, option to the as an examinee to decide the date and time, and they has to in turn has to inform, and that date and time we are going to plan and then conduct the examination in a traditional manner or through use of an ICT also. And that is what the idea, one of the features of this on-demand examination. And then selecting the suitable time for appearing an examination rather than waiting for a period of 6 or 7 or 7 or more than that for next cycle of an examination. So this is one. If the student, instead of waiting for that, what you call it as a March or that what you call it as a June for taking an examination or some other things, no, because in a traditional, this is the routine system, like what you call generally we are conducting an examination in our system of that is in our system in between that March, in between the March or in the what you call September or October, like that. So there is no need of waiting. If they are ready and they have mastered the content, no. So instead of waiting for the 6th month, the last day of the 6th month, no, he can take the examination well in advance in advance forum by informing the concerned authority about their readiness. They will make some sort of an arrangement for conducting an examination. And the system has symbolic relationship with the online examination. Both are almost same. Once the eligibility is ensured, then all the other processes are held in online. Unlike issuing the hall ticket indicating the date, examination center, conduct of an examination, and declaration of results. And the second aspect will be the part of the online process, whereas deciding the date and time will be by the student or the examinee, and that one will be conducted in a traditional conventional way, but conducting in a traditional way, the date and will be decided by the examinee. Another one, the entire process of computer based, there is a built mechanism for the authenticity of the student's data. Because majority of the people have the concept that when we allow the students to take the examination at their own risk or time or the day, that is the schedule of this, as authenticity is the one of the major important concept which is question arises regarding the data information or eligibility of the examination or the examinee for taking the exam. All such things we have to taken care of. Based on that one, you have to allow. And then student have flexibility for payment through online mode and all these things, you know that one. And it is a safe, secure, and truly transparent system. ODS is a reliable, valid, practical system. It has several advantages over the traditional system because fast and furious in terms of giving the result to the student. And the system is very simple and user-friendly. User-friendly means examinee-friendly. Examinee-friendly means not in terms of carrying out the malpractices, but system of all such what we call it as and the things we taken care of while conducting. But other aspects, it is a examinee-friendly in terms of time and other things. And this system is individualized question paper will be provided. Individualized question paper will be provided. So this is the one of the reason. That's why concept of malpractice as larger extent we can reduce, or we can see the zero concept of malpractice as individualized question paper. Individualized question paper. That means if there is a 10 students are taking 10 different question paper on the same content in a different way, but difficulty level of those question paper in the system or in that particular type of examination will be same. So also because of that one, no, the negative things which are generally we see in the system of an examination can be reduced to the larger extent. The question paper are encrypted by on the day of examination, time of generation, and encrypted question paper are made available online to the examination center. So they are decrypted by the authorized person with the help of a software, and unique key is generated. So most of you know that one because people who have attended this type of an online examination like conducted by the MOOCs for some certificate courses, no, you have knowledge of this one, no. The time and other things will be strictly followed in the system, and particular time and particular day at that center, it will be opened with a key concept. And then question bank is important component for this requires for question paper for ODS. Each question is coded with metadata, unit and chapter type of question difficulty level, question bank reviewed and moderated in this one, and may reduce load of term and examination in future. So these are some of the important silent features of this online examination. The reduce of workload to the students as well as the teachers, entire system of an examination, And then individualized one removes the frustration, loss of self-esteem and depression that generally we see during the time of an examination, the convictional one, stress among the students to take an examination. All such negative aspects can be taken care of by introducing this concept of on-demand